A4 because I've got a big A4 piece of paper. Alright, hello all and welcome. Now I promise I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet, but I can't assure you it's going to be funny. These guys are a very tough act to follow, as you can see, and yeah, just no heckling. I'm looking in this direction, that direction as well. Alright, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Chris, Clayton's best man. Now I should point out that whilst I may be a good man, some may even say a great man, I cannot take the title of best man today. Otherwise, surely Amy would be marrying me. Surely no. Christy, cover your ears. No, seriously though, Clayton must take the title for this evening, and I'll happily take best dressed or best looking groomsman. I don't know. You guys decide. I'll have a vote later. So I've known Clayton for what seems to be forever now, and in keeping with tradition, I've realised it's my job to speak about what a champion bloke he is and tell some funny stories, or, you know, go along with all that. However, when I sat down to write this speech, I was having trouble remembering a suitable tale for such an occasion like this that had a PG rating. Finally, I came to this conclusion. They say that the sign of a good night is waking up the day after and not remembering a thing. Well, in this case, a sign of a good friendship must be to hang out and party for a decade or so, then draw a complete blank when asked to get up and tell a funny story about our times together. So by that logic, our friendship, mate, must have been an absolute blinder. I do recall one evening though, and Gary has touched on this lightly before, that has some special relevance to tonight. Sometime not so long ago, I bought a ticket to go to a gig down in Sydney. Now, being from Newcastle, I decided to go down, spend the night with my old Clat dog when he was living in Bondi, the hipster capital of the world. We visited a few of the local establishments in the evening or early afternoon, and then Clatty said, "Why don't we go to this party that I know these girls are throwing up the road?" Being the the party animal that I am, I said, "Why not? We'll go up there." But Clayton neglected to tell me that he had his eye on one of these birds. So we sat around in the afternoon drinking, copious amounts of rum and whatever else was on offer there. And then the Sydney guys there said, "All right, let's go into the Cross. We're going to go to this nightclub." Was it Moulin Rouge? Right? So we all made it into the city, and me being I did say that I was a party goer, but I don't like doof music, and I don't like overpriced drinks, and everyone there looked half my age, so I said I'm going to go down the road because a couple of my other mates happened to be in the area at that time, and I'll go down and have a couple of beers with them, and I'll catch up with you later. Clark said, "No, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to dance around like a pork chop. I've got, Still not telling me that he's keen on this bird." So I said, "Okay, mate, no worries. I'm going to go down and this seedy joint, I think it's Sports Bar or something like that." Deej, yes. I know you've been there. So I was there and caught up with my mates, and I started to ring Clat about it after an hour or so, and no answer. And I started to think, oh, that's a bit funny. He's in a loud club, that's all right. Another hour passed, still no answer. I started to freak out because I had all of my clothes, all of my possessions, my car keys, everything at Clayton's house. And being a boy from the small town of Newcastle, I was quite frightened to be left alone in the big smoke. So I started to freak out, and I started to brace myself to think, all right, Chris, you're going to have to sleep on Bondi Beach tonight. All right? Brace yourself. I was bloody nervous. I was distraught. I was almost crying. I almost wanted to ring my mum and get her to come pick me up. But anyway, I walked out into Darlinghurst Road, and we all know what a eyesight that is. So I was walking around trying to find a cab, and lo and behold, I see Clayton and this girl in the cab line. And his phone was still on. and needless to say, I proceeded to give him a bit of a mouthful, you know. He'd broken the holy code of, you know, brotherhood. Mates before dates, you know. Now this bit I've got to read it word for word because I'm going to get it wrong. So where am I up to? Okay, so here we go. I guess the moral of the story is that whilst I was cranky with Clap that night, it has turned out that the girl he was chasing is the beautiful girl that he's married today. And if Clayton decided to go with me, the annoying wingman, then I probably wouldn't be in front of you all here telling this story tonight. I guess in this case, the date coming before the mate was the best decision that Clayton has ever made. Amy, you're an extremely awesome girl, and Christy and I are so glad that you're coming to our lives. We can't wait for you guys to give us our little Isabel a playmate. Not too long, I hope.
No pressure.
No pressure.
And we look forward to watching you guys grow.